everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's seed of the run is NPLTA64G. Plug it in, play along with me. Maybe we did some things a little differently. Let me know in the comment section below. Today's challenge is a Judas Boss Rush Blue Baby run with an extra challenge on top, and that is to skip all treasure rooms until a planetarium room appears. It's a lot going on here. Our biggest obstacle would be to get to the boss rush. I'm a firm believer that boss rush is not rewarding enough. Granted, it gives you one item at the start and another item at the end, but to race there in under 20 minutes and possibly miss out on the exploration part of the runs makes it kind of a waste. Especially with all the items in the game already. Just imagine racing to get to the boss rush and you get Lemon Mishap or a Tiny Planet as the reward. I'd be sick if I went through all that to get items that are just horrible in the game. Now there is a rare chance that the item can be good, so don't be super bummed about what I'm saying right now, it's just preference. I prefer to explore leading up to the mom fight, taking my time. I can go into a curse room or a secret room and find items like the pact or the sausage. It's just more rewarding than a randomly generated boss rush item, but that's just my opinion. Our first boss is Baby Plum. It's a pretty easy fight. If you just remember her patterns, I immediately pop my book so I could take her out a little faster. Small fun fact about this boss, if you don't attack her, she will drop an item called Plum Flute, which is an active item that just calls Baby Plum to help you fight in the room you're in. It's a pretty cool feature. We pick up Magic Scab, which gives us some luck and HP, and we move on to the next floor. Now our other challenge is to skip all treasure rooms until a planetarium room appears. Now if you're not familiar with what a planetarium room is, they are similar to treasure rooms, but they contain an astronomy themed item which can be very strong, like Terra and Uranus. Planetarium rooms chance increase by 20% every time you skip a treasure room, hence the challenge we have here. It's more risk versus reward, just because you may never know what you can get in your treasure room or how powerful the item in the treasure room you skipped is. So if you're playing along, whatever treasure room I miss, go in there and let me know what you get. Maybe I missed out on something amazing that could make this challenge a lot easier. Now finally, we are playing as Judas. I personally like playing as Judas. He starts off a little stronger than the rest of the characters, but with only one red heart. He also starts with the Book of Belial, which is great to pop during boss fights in the early game. The strategy here is to grab as much HP as possible since he already starts so low. This will help our decision if we take devil deals or aim for angel deals. As you saw, I already know what our devil deal item will be since we teleported there with a chest. I'm not super confident in trading already low HP for that item. It needed to be game changing for me to risk our survivability. We got Gemini, our second boss. We take him out really quickly. It's very easy to take out Gemini, just gotta run around the room. Our boss item was Latch Key, which gave us some luck, some soul hearts, and 2 keys. It was pretty mediocre, but you know, we need the HP to cover us. Next floor is up and we finally find our planetarium room, so it's a win-win for us. Our planetarium item, I'm hoping it's just something great. Let's just check it out. It's actually Neptune, which will build up our tears if we do not fire any tears. It sounds confusing, I know. There will be a charge indication over my head for what I'm talking about. Now our tier rate is already 2.73, which is very trash. You don't want that. So this will help our DPS if we can manipulate the item. Our first treasure room item is Hypercoagulation, which is whenever you take damage, hearts will drop and disappear after a few seconds. It's situational and can benefit the player, but I didn't feel like I needed it, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of having to take damage to make an item work, but that's just me. Our next boss is Monstro, not one but 2 Monstros. It's a family affair. I pop my book, which will give us +2 damage for the current room, and I go off. As you see, I'm manipulating Neptune to the best of our ability. Our starting stats as of now is 1 for speed, 2.73 for tier rate, damage 8.71, but that is just because of the book. We beat the boss, it drops Wooden Spoon, which gives us a much needed speed up. Now we're currently at 1.3. So as you see, I'm manipulating our Neptune item as best as I can. What I'm trying to do here is utilize it just because our tier rate is so low. Hopefully we can find something to increase our tier rate, because I'm not a huge fan of this planetarium item. I would much prefer Terra or Uranus. Again, those are I think the most ideal planetarium items you want. There is a few other ones, but I'm just not a fan of them. Again, with Neptune, it's one of those situational items that you needed. I only took it just because it is a planetarium item and we needed the help that we can, and it was just part of the challenge. Now with the Book of Belial, you want to be able to utilize that whenever you get a chance. Just pop it when it's ready, or if you feel like you're in need of help. You don't always have to save this active item for the boss. We enter our second treasure room on the run, and we find the Book of Sin. I'm going to pick it up just to try to get Bookworm Transformation, and it's a free item, so I might as well drop it. Our HP is really low, and survivability is key. I'm only at 2 red hearts, which is a huge concern for me. I'm clearly not going to go Devil Deal. I just don't want to risk my survivability for that. I'm going to go for Angel Deals. Now, I know for Angel Deals, it's very rare to get an incredible Angel Deal item, but sometimes you get lucky. Hopefully I can find Godhead or Sacred Heart just to really pivot the run into my advantage. Again, we are doing a boss rush. I'm just not a fan of it. But that's the challenge, you know. I'm not too super concerned about Blue Baby. If I can get past the womb, I think I'm gonna be fine. We enter our shop, and we do see Pandora's box. It's gonna drop a boss item, which is not too bad, and a couple soul hearts, which is much needed. We pick up safety pins, gonna give us some range and some shot speed. I take my Book of Belial back. Again, the Book of Belial is great to eliminate bosses faster, just because it gives us more damage. Our next boss is up. I pop our book, and we're just gonna go off. Again, as you see, my tier rate increases the more I hold Neptune. There is an indication above my head that's gonna show when it's ready to pop and go. But the good thing is you could just let it out like a machine gun, and that's what I'm doing right now. Take them out, pick up stem cells, which gives us some more HP, which is exactly what I wanted. I go into our Angel Deal, and there is Revelation, which is huge. That is our Holy Brim. A little bit longer to charge than Brimstone, but it's incredible. It also gives us Flight, which is amazing to have, especially with our speed so low. I'm big on having Flight. I feel like positioning is key, and Flight helps dodge all that unwanted ways to get damage, such as creep, block terrain, spikes, and spiked rocks. It's just something really beneficial to have. Now, as you see, we do have that Holy Brim shot like I was talking about earlier. It's a very powerful. Scales really well with what you have, and you can also manipulate that with whatever tier stats you get, which is going to be great. Now, the only issue that we're having is the fact that we did pick up Neptune, which kind of, you know, it doesn't interact really well with what we have, because you're charging 2 different things. So what my main goal is to utilize our Holy Brim rather than our tier rate. So Neptune was just kind of a waste. We pop our boss. It's the Dark Prince's Crown, which is pretty useless with what we're doing, considering we're picking up Angel Deals instead of Devil Deals. So we're going to always stay up on our HP level. Crown of Light is amazing. It's going to give us an incredible stat boost, which is what we needed since our stats is pretty mediocre. We're still at 1.3 speed, still at 2.73 tier rate, damage 9.45, which is okay, but again, that's because of Crown of Light. Now, the Crown of Light is, as soon as we get tapped, it will go away, but it's going to reset the next room we go into. So I'm pretty happy with that. And, you know, I was checking my time to see how I'm looking. Again, we have to make it to the boss rush in under 20 minutes. Thankfully, we're not doing a rush because that's a little bit difficult. We end up going to Mom. I'm going to save my book for our boss rush, so I'm not super concerned about using it right now. I'm a little worried with our stats, I won't lie to you. But again, I just gotta really watch my positioning, and Flight's gonna help us out. You know, again, with Isaac, you can have any item in the game at your arsenal, but it's really just 3 main things to really focus on. You know, survivability, how much damage you have, and what your DPS is, which is your tier rate. You know, if we had like Satanic Bible or Book of Revelation, that's really good ways to have survivability. You can even manipulate the game with maximum red hearts and then have like a sun card with you, or Guppy's Paw. Like, those are ways to have a survivability, you know. And the next one would be damage, you know, the power in your tiers, you know, like Magic Mush, Cricket's Head. Right now I don't have that damage, so I'm really trying to utilize Book of Belial the best I can. And then we got tier rate, you know, the speed of your tiers, your DPS, your damage per second, like Sad Onion, Mr. Dolly. We don't have any of that. So again, we're kind of, you know, in a really tough situation. I enter our boss rush. It sucks that we have Curse of the Blind, so I don't know what I'm picking up, and we picked up a really trash item. Like I said earlier, when it comes to boss rushes, it's really situational, and you got to get really lucky to get something great. This is why I don't like doing boss rushes, especially when you get Curse of the Blind. It's all that's just a waste. I popped my book. I'm a little bit stronger. I'm at 17.42 damage, which is great. It's what we needed, especially in combination of our Holy Brim. So what we're trying to do is continuously pop the book. Again, you're gonna see me pop it in a second, just because the floor is gonna constantly reset and you're gonna get charges for it. And now I just gotta watch my position. I popped my book, I got more damage, and now I'm at 10.13 because I did get tapped. I'm not a big fan of this peep variant. This peep variant is just tough, especially if you're not paying attention and your positioning is off. I'm taking way too much damage, so survivability is the issue. Now, I do have the Hermit card, and it's one of those things where, do I sacrifice the challenge of the run for the dub, or do I just take the L? And that's why I had the Hermit card, just in case I looked like I was about to die, I was gonna pop it. That way I could at least try to finish the run with a W instead of just losing in the boss rush. So we're here in the boss rush again. HP is at 4 red hearts, 1 soul, half heart of a soul. Not really looking forward to it. Our trinkets are pretty trash. Stats are pretty bad. The only thing we really have going for us is our Holy Brim. I just need to make sure I can keep my distance when I'm playing in the boss rush. And that's just pretty much it at this point. I'm trying to dodge as best as I can. Pop my Book of Belial whenever I get an opportunity to pop it. And I'm just going through wave after wave. And I keep taking unnecessary damage, and that's an issue when it comes to boss rushes, is you might have like a monster 2 or a peep variant, or any enemy that's gonna shoot that AoE damage or the shots from a distance. If you don't have full vision of the board or wherever you're at, on the floor or in the room itself, you're not gonna know what shots are coming at you. So you really gotta pay attention and constantly move and pivot. Like, for example, I just got popped with a Brim. I didn't expect that to happen. So now I'm down to 3 red hearts, and it's looking really tough, especially if there's no chance of having some type of HP regeneration. There's no sense of survivability. I'm just getting tapped left and right, and I'm really nervous on that. Again, downside of doing boss rush, you know, those are situational stuff. So I do see opportunity within the floor, within the room. That's why I picked up that Eternal Heart. Maybe that'll cover me for a little bit. Now I'm really close to death. I got 1 HP, and then that's when the other crown pops. Dark Princess Crown is going to give us a nice quick stat boost. Dark Princess Crown is going to give us that boost when we're at 1 red heart. So it's kind of a balance, just in case I had that 1 red heart, as well as Crown of Light is when I'm at max HP. So I really got to utilize that. Now I will sacrifice Dark Princess Crown for a little bit more HP. Again, survivability to me and positioning is the key and the king of Isaac, and that's how you're going to win. So I quickly grabbed that half heart I found, and I'm just going to continue on with the boss rush. I'm looking at what we got here is Chubb, and I'm not too worried about that. Chubb's pretty easy. You just drop a bomb, but of course I missed it. And we're just going to continue on. Pop book again. Now we're at 15.38 damage. Now again, with the more waves in the boss rush, it's like a greed run. When you got Book of Belial or anything that's gonna have active item, it's gonna activate itself. You just gotta pop it. You gotta make sure to remember to pop it, and it's gonna stack. And again, I just got hit with a Brim. The room got dark, and I just got tapped. Not a big fan of that. We're at 1 red heart. Super nervous. We get a little Brownie. Brownie's tough, believe it or not. Brownie drops all those add-ons. You just gotta really dodge everything. As you see, I got tapped again. Now I do have the Polaroid, so it's going to give me a little Polaroid invincibility. I just gotta really be careful. I'm at half heart, not a great position to be in, but we end up doing it. I take out Brownie's little add-ons, and let's see what I get. And it's the Scissors. You lose your head. Scissors is a pretty trashy item. Now, I was debating on bringing it with me throughout the run and dropping the Book of Belial, because I do have Holy Brim. And maybe I could make something work with the Holy Brim as well as Neptune. I was thinking about it, but then I was like, you know what? It's not that great. I popped the Hermit card, and my only concern right now is my HP. Half a heart is not what you want. Thankfully, I find the Hierophant, pop it, grab those 2 soul hearts, give me a slight protection, and we just move on to the next floor. I ended up running around trying to grab some hearts as best as I can. And we're going on to the womb and beyond. Now, so far within the challenge, we needed to do boss rush, check mark, that's completed. We need to skip all treasure rooms until we found our planetarium room. That's completed, check mark that. Now the only thing left to do is to beat Blue Baby. which again, if I can get through the womb with at least 6 red hearts, I think I'm gonna be okay. Now we ended up finding Play-Doh Cookie. I love Play-Doh Cookie. Play-Doh Cookie is one of those items that's going to change your tier rate, and in this case we have our Holy Brim, and it's gonna mix and match different type of stats effects. So it's great. I love Play-Doh Cookie, and you're gonna see it's gonna give them the random fear shots. It's gonna freeze them. It's gonna be nice, especially if you can combine that with nice stat ups. Like if our tier rate was a little higher, we just start shooting, spraying with that, and it's great. But I'm gonna use Holy Brim to the best of my ability with that combination of Play-Doh Cookie. We just really need to be careful with our positioning. Our stats are not that great. We're at 1.5 speed. I prefer 1.7, 1.8, especially with flight, so I can dip and dodge. We beat our boss. We get Mom's Coin Purse, which is kind of trash. Our tier rate is still the same, 2.73. Damage is 9.45, which is kind of respectable. I prefer 10 to 12. We beat the boss, go into our angel deal, and we have a nice variety to pick. I'm gonna pick up the candle. The candle is going to scale our tier rate, which is what we needed. The more rooms you clear without taking damage, which kind of works with the Crown of Light, since Crown of Light stays active if you don't take damage. So pretty excited about that. We find some soul hearts within our next floor, and now our tier rate is to 4.73, and again that's because of the candle. So just in case our Holy Brim doesn't make that shot, because sometimes we will miss. It's not aimed correctly, just like Brimstone, so you gotta aim it a little bit better. But you know, if it does miss, we have our Neptune, we have our tier rate, we have a nice backup plan. As you see, I'm freezing these enemies, I'm changing them, I'm charming them, I'm giving them that fear shot, and that's again in combination with Play-Doh Cookie. We move on to It Lives. I pop my Book of Bala. Now we're at 17.42. I do take bad damage, and then my damage went back down to 8.71. Kind of disappointed, and as well as my tier rate dropped back down to 2.73. Because again, Crown of Light and the candle, they're in combination with each other, and they're going to work well if you don't take damage, which is easier said than done in any Isaac run. You're going to take damage. You might blink, your positioning might be off, you might run into a rock. It happens. Now we do get a devil deal. I'm at 6 red hearts and 1.5 soul hearts. I told myself why not, but again, Curse of the Blind kind of made it pointless. I was hoping that it wasn't Curse of the Blind. I probably could have got a decent devil deal item. Again, I don't know because I'm Curse of the Blind, but you know, if you're playing along with me in this run, take one of them, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Maybe I missed out on something great. I was just too scared, you know. I wanted to make sure I got the W. We are onto the cathedral on our way to find Isaac. We get tapped again. Again, I feel a little bit more comfortable with 6 red hearts, but it is what it is. We find the trinket doorstop, which is super incredible. You can go in and out of the rooms, even boss rooms. If you feel like you want to backtrack a bit, it's really great, especially on the cathedral and beyond. You will get lost. You just go back and just be like, okay, this is the room I don't want to be in, or you can reset the room completely if there's too many champions. We're going into Isaac. We're taking way too much unnecessary damage. We're at 5 red hearts. A little nervous about here. Again, survivability is key, and I'm not too happy with it. But of course, we're taking out Isaac as fast as we can, hitting with our Holy Brim, with our Play-Doh Cookie combination. I'm getting tapped way too much. We're at 4 red hearts. Isaac's below 25% of HP. We take him out, and so far so good. Now we're gonna make it our way forward. Getting a little nervous with our HP. I'm gonna go back to try to explore, and I run into the secret room and I find Chaos. Now Chaos is gonna change all the items. It's gonna mix all the random item pools within the run. It's a little late. You really want to take Chaos early in the run, but I said, you know, why not? You may never know. Can find some pretty great devil deal items in the treasure room, and it's the last floor anyway. Why not get a little crazy with it? Now we're popping out treasures. So it's pretty trash items. Maniko's power is pretty good though. I like Maniko's power with 41 cents, gonna increase our damage. I'm gonna take a little bit more HP again. I was scared. So now we're at 6 red hearts, 1 soul heart. Let's make our way to Blue Baby. I pop my teleportation card and I'm going off. Now I pop my Book of Belial. I did pick up an item that's going to give me that astral projection. It's kind of trash. It is what it is. And I'm going off on Blue Baby. I'm pretty happy with how this run came out. The challenge was a bit extra, I won't lie to you, with Judas. It's going to boss rush, no treasure rooms, planetarium rooms, Blue Baby run. I'm happy we completed it. I appreciate everybody watching. I love making these. Please like and subscribe. Till next time.